happens in my life that I don't understand, I ask, what's the lesson? Like, what is the takeaway, or what should I be focusing on? Or what is this situation inviting me or pushing me to consider? And when I think about all that's happened in the United States over the past year, I really feel like this is an opportunity for the nation to really think about our language, how we talk about the people with whom we agree and the people with whom we disagree, the political rhetoric, how we describe political opponents. And I feel like we've been getting messages on the importance of language and the need to temper political discourse for a while. You know, we've seen attacks on political leaders, including the former president, the spouse of a political leader, members of Congress. Like, we are living in a time where it seems like no one is safe. And when I think about the why, I question our political language and our political dialogue. At the same time, we are seeing horrific language and outright fabrications being made about migrants in Springfield, Ohio, and other parts of the nation. Now, these fabrications will have real consequences, not just for the migrants, but for the entire community. If you think about Springfield, Ohio, it's a small community. It's not a large community, a small community of, I want to say, around 58,000. So very, very small. And that community has been upended based on outright fabrications of Haitian migrants. And it is not fair. It's not fair to that community. It's also not fair to the Haitian migrants there and in other parts of the country. From Ohio Governor Mike DeWine to Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost to Springfield Mayor Rob Rue to even entertainers like John Legend and Garcelle Beauvais, a number of people have stepped up and have been calling for other officials to be careful how they talk about the community and to stop spreading lies. When I was thinking about Springfield, I read yesterday or the day before that hospitals and schools, they've even experienced threats, and it's all based on a fabrication. Springfield is in the news today, but I am clear that no community is immune. And if we've learned anything about language, we know that it can have unintentional consequences. Now, I say that while acknowledging that I do believe the United States has an immigration crisis that has been brewing for a long time. But I don't think that that crisis gives us the right to dehumanize human beings. And the language that's been used to describe Haitian migrants, again, it's not just going to impact those migrants, but it's going to impact all people of color. It breeds suspicion, it breeds fear, it breeds hostility, and it's just not fair. I think that our words live long after we've spoken them. Do you know what it's like to be on the receiving end of hearing a harsh word? And even if you try to mend the relationship with the person who spoke those words, sometimes you may never forget what was said about you. You may also know what it's like to have said something, and then once you put it out there, you can't take it back. You can apologize, but you remember what you said, and the other person remembers what you said, even if, again, you guys try to mend fences and move on. Our language, our words, how we talk about things are very, very powerful. Our language can spur not only feelings, but it can spur policy. It can impact how we see one another, how we hold one another, how we engage with one another. I think this is the reason that the Bible says that death and life are in the power of the tongue. And when we think about the Bible and what the Bible says about the tongue or language, there's so much there. It's so rich. Proverbs 15:14 says, "The soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse tongue crushes the spirit." Also in Proverbs, this time from the 16th chapter, verses 23 and 24, "The hearts of the wise make their mouths prudent, and their lips promote instruction." Now, when I think about our political environment, when I think about what's happening with immigration and our immigration policies, I don't think that we can be so willing to win that we are willing to say or do anything. The means don't always justify the end. And I think it's possible to both advocate for stronger immigration policies without demonizing human beings. If you like this content, please be sure to subscribe. You can leave a positive comment, and you can also share with a neighbor. But most importantly, I hope that you will think seriously about the language that you use when you're upset, when you're happy, when you're describing someone with whom you disagree, or describing someone who you agree with for that matter. Take care, and thanks for listening.